Hey guys, it's Sarah, or Axie, or whatever you want to call me. And this is just a demonstration of how I set up a super basic photo shoot with one background. So this is for the Mel shoot. I just found sort of any area that was flat, literally just like the middle of the street. And I'm gonna add a wall. I'm gonna add a black wall because I don't want to have to worry about shadows. Also, black looked really good in the shoot, so made sense. So yeah, I add the wall. I'm using the yaw to just sort of, adjust it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And so I'm gonna move it and make it a little bit straighter. And then I'm just gonna make it larger. And again, it doesn't really matter, so I'm just gonna make it kind of as big as I can. Okay, so now I have my wall. And I'm gonna just move her into like a better position. And you don't really have to do this because you can move her in photo mode, but I did anyway. Then I'm gonna go into lighty lights, and I'm just gonna switch it to sort of like any dark background. And actually, if you make the wall high enough, then the background will block out any lighting, because I think the seller actually has some lighting in there. So now I'm adding a directional 60-degree light, just to get some like sort of general fill on her. And I usually stick the light to the camera and move it around to sort of like roughly where I want it to be, and then I'll use like the adjustments in lighty lights to sort of just like move it around. Here I'm just doing it world relative up and down, just so I can get like some light on her, also so I can see what I'm doing. I do usually like to tilt it so that it's either like level or tilted up a little. I don't know. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna adjust the power, which is sort of like how much light you get, because I'd rather have kind of less light from each of my lights so that I can get those like dramatic shadows and whatever. So once I have one light, I'm gonna add another one, also a 60-degree light. I'm going to stick it to the camera just so I can, again, move it to sort of roughly where I want it to be, and once it's there, I unstick it. And then I kind of move it. And it's nice that I can sort of see where the light is, so I can see like how it's moving, because, yeah, this stuff is like, these controls, they're as good as I imagine they can be, but they're just like not that intuitive to me. So I'm going to move it like around a little bit. I'm going to move it down. I like when my lights are lower to the ground, and I'm gonna tilt it up a little bit. And yeah, then I'm gonna zoom in on her so I can see sort of how much light I'm getting, and then I'm gonna adjust like the power. And again, I kind of want there to be like more shadow, at least on one side of her, for the drama. Okay, then I'm going to add this directional 10-degree light, and this is just kind of like for the extra drama, so that you have like the light on her face. Here I'm just putting the power up so that I can sort of see where it's hitting. I'm going to turn that down later. So then I'm just going to kind of like move around so I can see, yeah, like where that light is going to hit her. And again, I can move her around too after the fact, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I do want it to be like a little bit higher and tilted down more, just because, you get like a more dramatic photo that way. So there, I'm gonna look at like I do play with the distance a little, but it's more about the power for me. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna make it a little bit less powerful, and that seems fine, right? Time to enter photo mode. Okay, so as you can see, this is Cena as Mel, but yeah. Now I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna go look for a pose that works. A lot of these poses are not great, but and also, yeah, like I have to watch her hair because it's got physics. This is that new pose pack. They're cute, but not really what I'm looking for. Still, I don't love the way her hand looks on this one. I do like these over the shoulder poses. If you move like their head around, then they can look really good. So yeah, this one looks pretty good. Shows off the outfit. She looks like a badass, so that's great. Just gonna move around to sort of see, you know, what my camera's gonna see. And yeah, I can also move, see I'm moving her a little bit out of the light so that, like, you know, it's not as harsh like on her face. And yeah, does she seem like she'd be angry? Maybe not angry. I do use like the neutral face a lot. I don't know. It's very like fashion photo. And then I will have her look at the camera, and then I can move the camera around. And that's where she'll be looking, and then I can freeze it wherever that is by entering into the Otis camera, which is where I am now. And yeah, so I mean, yeah, she looks good. Usually at this point I would do something like enter into, like, you know, like I would hot sample the photo, but I'm not going to do that right now because I think it will like totally mess with the recording and you'll get some sort of weird situation going on. So we're just going to take this photo like this. She looks good. And yeah, that's me going back into the regular photo mode to sort of like just adjust her a little bit. Just adjust where she's looking. Now I'm back in Otis. And yeah. I think I was like paying special attention to sort of like how the gold tattoos on her neck are affected by the way her neck is twisted, because that's always an issue. So yeah, now I'm just going through my reshades just to kind of see what looks good, and then I'll take the photo. See, that wasn't so hard. As you can see, I tweak my reshades a lot while I'm taking photos. Just depends on like what everything looks like. And even though there's like no real background here, I do usually use like some depth of field, just because it gives you like a little bit more realism, I think, in the picture. But usually not a ton, because I don't want there to be like, you know, too much blur on the outfit. Yeah, this is taking a while because I did up the quality just to get, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really normally make that much of a difference, but sometimes it does. And then I take the photo, and that is it.